I thought my sister-in-law was my friend, but she was part of my wife's plan to catch me cheating. When I learned the full extent of their deception, I made a life-changing decision. Emma reached out too, apologizing for her role in the deception. She claims she only went along with it to keep an eye on the situation and try to talk Sarah out of it. I'm at a loss. I love Sarah, but I don't know if I can trust her again. The fact that she would go to such lengths instead of just talking to me has shaken me to my core. And now I feel like I've lost not just my wife but also a friend in Emma. Every time I close my eyes, I see Sarah and Emma on that couch, plotting behind my back. I keep replaying every interaction I've had with Emma over the past few months, wondering what was real and what was part of their scheme. I miss Max. I wonder if he misses me too or if he's confused about why I'm not coming home. Sarah sent me a picture of him yesterday, curled up on my side of the bed. It broke my heart. Part of me wants to forgive Sarah, to try and salvage our marriage. We've been through so much together, built a life together. The thought of throwing it all away is devastating. But another part of me doesn't know if I can ever look at her the same way again. How can I trust that she won't do something like this again the next time she has doubts? Am I overreacting? Should I give Sarah another chance, or is this betrayal too big to overcome? How do I even begin to rebuild trust after something like this? Update 1. It's been 2 weeks since my last post, and a lot has happened. First, I want to thank everyone for their support and advice. It's been incredibly helpful to have an outside perspective on this situation. After taking some time to process everything, I decided to meet with Sarah to hear her out fully. We met at a neutral location, a quiet cafe near our apartment called the Blue Teapot. It's where we used to go for Sunday brunch in the early days of our relationship. Sitting there now, surrounded by happy couples and families, felt surreal. Sarah arrived before me. When I walked in, I saw her sitting at our usual table by the window. She looked terrible, like she hadn't slept in days. Her hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail, and she was wearing an old college sweatshirt of mine. As soon as she saw me, she burst into tears. Over the next 2 hours, Sarah poured her heart out. She explained that her trust issues stemmed from her past relationships. Her first serious boyfriend in college, a guy named Ryan, had cheated on her repeatedly. She caught him in bed with her roommate during their sophomore year. After that, she had trouble trusting anyone. Her next relationship, with a coworker named Mark, ended when she caught him sexting with another colleague. Sarah said she never fully dealt with these betrayals, instead carrying that baggage into our relationship. Sarah admitted that she had started seeing signs of cheating where there were none. A late night at work became an affair in her mind. A friendly conversation with a female colleague at a work event transformed into flirting. She said she knew logically that I wasn't the type to cheat, but her fears overwhelmed her rational thinking. When she first had the idea to ask Emma to test me, Sarah said she thought it would finally put her fears to rest. She convinced herself that when I didn't respond to Emma's advances, she'd feel secure in our relationship again. But as the weeks went by and I continued to be faithful, Sarah said she felt worse, not better. She realized that her actions were destroying our relationship, but she didn't know how to stop. I listened to all of this, trying to understand her perspective. While I could sympathize with her past hurts, I told her that her actions were still inexcusable. I explained how deeply her lack of trust had hurt me and how betrayed I felt, not just by her, but by Emma as well. Sarah broke down again, apologizing over and over. She said she'd give anything to take it back, to go back to how we were before. She talked about our wedding day, about the vows we'd made to each other. She reminded me of all the good times we'd had, our road trips, our lazy Sunday mornings with Max, the way we'd always been able to make each other laugh. Speaking of Emma, I also learned more about her involvement. According to Sarah, Emma had initially refused to participate in the plan. She thought it was a terrible idea and urged Sarah to talk to me instead. But Sarah had pleaded with her, playing on their sisterly bond and Emma's protective nature. Emma finally agreed, but only on the condition that she would report everything honestly and try to convince Sarah to come clean. Sarah showed me some of the text exchanges between her and Emma. I saw messages where Emma repeatedly told Sarah to stop the plan, that it was hurting everyone involved. There were also messages where Emma reported on our interactions, always emphasizing my loyalty and love for Sarah. I'm still processing how I feel about Emma's role in all of this. While I understand she was in a difficult position, I wish she had reached out to me directly instead of participating in the deception. The thought of all those times I confided in her about my marriage troubles, not knowing she was part of the problem, makes me feel sick. As for Sarah and me, we're at a crossroads. She's begging for another chance, promising to get professional help for her trust issues and to work on our communication. She's already made an appointment with a therapist and has offered to give me complete access to her phone and social media accounts as a sign of transparency. Part of me wants to try again. We've built a life together, and until this incident, I thought we were happy. I think about Max, about the family we'd planned to start. I remember the way Sarah used to look at me with so much love and trust. I wonder if we can ever get back to that place. But another part of me doesn't know if I can ever fully trust her again. Every time my phone buzzes, I wonder if Sarah is checking up on me. When I'm at work, I find myself wanting to document my whereabouts just in case she accuses me of something. It's exhausting, and I don't know if I can live like this long term. For now, I've decided to extend my stay at Jack's place. I told Sarah I need more time to think about what I want. She was disappointed but said she understands and will respect my need for space. She's agreed to communicate only through text for now, unless it's an emergency. I visited our apartment to pick up some more clothes and to see Max. It was hard being there, surrounded by reminders of our life together. Max was ecstatic to see me, jumping all over me and whining when I had to leave. Sarah was out at her therapy appointment, which I was grateful for. I'm not sure I could have handled seeing her in our home. I'm still unsure about what to do next. The thought of ending our marriage breaks my heart, but so does the idea of always wondering if I'm being tested or mistrusted. I'm considering suggesting a trial separation while Sarah works on her issues, but I'm not sure if that's the right move. My friends are divided on what I should do. Jack thinks I should leave Sarah, saying that trust is fundamental and can't be rebuilt once it's broken like this. But my other friend, Mia, thinks I should give Sarah another chance, pointing out that she came clean on her own and is taking steps to address her issues. I find myself cycling through different emotions: anger, sadness, confusion, even moments of longing for how things used to be. I'm trying to take care of myself through all of this. I've started going to the gym more regularly and have been writing in a journal to process my thoughts. Any advice on how to proceed would be greatly appreciated. Has anyone been in a similar situation? Were you able to rebuild trust, or was the betrayal too much to overcome? Update 2. It's been about a month since my last update, and I wanted to share some developments. After much soul-searching and several long conversations with Sarah, I've decided to file for divorce. This wasn't an easy decision, but I believe it's the right one for me. The turning point came when I had a heart-to-heart conversation with Emma. She reached out, wanting to apologize in person for her role in Sarah's scheme. We met at a local park where Sarah and I used to walk Max. It felt strange being there without him.